Good afternoon. It is August 18th, 2021, and here's how I saw it today. Really, I was just playing the overnight highs and lows, the range, but I just found this trend here. So it did feel like a downward bias today because the moves up were just like kind of strong and quick. You see this one right here, and then this one right here. But most of the day we were just in like a downward biased, like these overnight highs and lows were downward biased, and there were more entries on the downside. So yeah, here's what I saw, and let's talk about the trades. I keep thinking about my trades, but we can go over that later. I just want to talk about the chart. So we get this move up. It looks like the computer might have auto-adjusted this channel, or maybe I had it drawn like this. But anyway, we get this move up, break and move to a new high, and then we form this trend line. And I don't see how you could enter it down here, but this trend right here is working the low. It's holding the lows down here. So then we get this bounce off the trend line and a lower high, and I traded that. I took that as a second entry short, and then you get a failed second entry long right here too. So this looks congested, but you can see it's making lower highs and lower lows. So it looks like a trend down, and I really like this rejection here. So I'm taking those. So we get a break of this channel, and then we make this move. It kind of just slowly forms this congestion around this low, and we come back in. I don't know. I don't think you can go long here. It's just a first entry, yeah. So. It is a higher low, though, out of the overnight highs and lows, so maybe you go long here. But anyway, first entry, we get this potential setup for a second entry short, excuse me. But this just, prices are working off this line, and this congestion formed. So luckily here, my spidey senses were tingling, and it closed above the EMA. So I didn't go short here, and you can see some shorts got trapped. And when you get a higher low off that trap, I like that setup. Let's see if, nah, it's not a measured move. I just like this setup. It looked like a failure. First entry, second entry, failed second entry short. There's a failure here too. I don't know, this just, after, I guess I was really thinking of it like a range. Okay, so this failed, and then this failed too, and this is an engulfing bar too, by the way. So I'm like, okay, I think after we couldn't really make it down here, we're probably going to go to these, try and make it to these highs, and that's what happened. That's why I like this. I was watching it live. I forget why I didn't take this. I think maybe I was like with my son. And we form this congestion. You don't get any counter trend breakouts here, but we hit the overnight highs again, and then we form a very similar pattern to this trend down. And this, I looked at this as like a double top. So first entry, second entry. I think you got to go short there. Failed second entry long. And here I would have, if I got a signal bar here, this just felt like a healthy trend down, and you can see prices respecting the bottom of it. So if I got a good signal bar here, I would have went short, but there's no signal bar. So good restraint. We get a slight overshoot again. And again, I would have went short here if I got a good signal bar, but I didn't. Even though we had these overshoots, they were just kind of smaller overshoots. First entry, second entry, very congestive. And at this point, look, it looks like we're making a triple bottom here. So then we get the break, but you get this lower high off the trend line and room to the lows. I like this. It's aggressive because we had the break. The break wasn't too convincing, though. And that's another reason I like this entry. And then we come down here, hit the overnight lows, and this time we don't make it to the bottom of this channel. So you should be very wary of going short here. I thought I spotted a nice reversal, and I'll compare this when we go over my trades to the one I took or the one I marked earlier. But this we still haven't had a convincing break of this trend line. So people get trapped going long here. So if you see that, this lower high off of the trend line, I think you can take that. But then it does reverse. So I looked at this. Actually, no, according to the rules, too, you should look at this. This is one leg of correction here. You know, we get the break and a move down. And then this is like, this is a second leg of, or a first leg of correction. I didn't look at this as the first leg of correction. I looked at this as it, but it could be this. Let's mark that. Let's see. Could be from here too. Yeah, it looks like it could be it. So one leg of correction, two legs of correction, maybe. But I was looking at it as this is the first leg of correction. And then we get this hidden failure. This didn't tick lower right here. But that looks like one attempt to go lower, two attempts off the EMA. I like these spots off the EMA after going through the EMA on a reversal. I went early. I knew a reversal was coming here, but just not the best spot. Here is better, and it worked out. So that's a hidden failed second entry short. And we get an overshoot of that tight channel. And against my better judgment, I was just feeling emotional. I got a good, nice move out of this. I think like 5 points. I should have walked away after that, but I stayed there. I was like, oh well, this is a hidden failed second entry short, but this is the true failed second entry short, which that's not the case. If you see the failure work, then that's the failure. This is not the failure because the failure already happened. But I'm supposed to be talking about that after we go over the whole chart. So anyway, biggest trap of the day right here. I got caught on it. Boom. You can see the floor fall out. I'm not sure if you would have gotten a runner. It looks like you would have gotten a nice one. Where's that ruler at? If you went short there. It's 12.5 point move before it ticks higher. 12 points we'll call it. Big move. Big move. I like that. Anyway, so I wish I saw this trend line, the greater trend line for the day, had it here, because then I would feel a lot more confident in what was happening. But I was playing this trend line, and we do get like a hidden second entry short, a hidden entry again off of this trend line. So you do get a scalp out of this. I took this trade. It looks too aggressive though. But it was also off this trend line, even though that trend line had broken and wasn't really of much importance anymore. But it was off the short-term trend line and the EMA. So, yeah. It does get you a scalp, but yeah. In hindsight, I think that's a little too aggressive. And here we just have this, look, we get this big correction. Looks like we're making another downward leg. First entry, failed second entry, long. You know, I think I was watching this and I was thinking about taking this. Does that, okay, so that's the bar you would go short under. I would consider this. I would consider this. Because if you drag this channel, draw it off these highs, and then drag it down here, it looks like it's working. But you know, now that I'm thinking about it, this looks more like, that looks more accurate, yeah. And really, this is just a break. So maybe you might go long there. That's aggressive. It's also off the overnight lows, so I don't know. But that's what I saw. So let's take a look at my trades. I had to run errands here. So that's the break in trading. I took 5 trades today. I'd rather not take that many trades. And I should have wrapped it up after third trade, which was really good with a nice runner. And I guess that's something I got to do is when I get a nice runner like that, pack it up, call it a day, because your ego is probably going to get inflated. But anyway, we have this downward trend. This is just a textbook second entry short. And I entered on a limit order here. I got it probably like a couple ticks back. Just because I was like, I don't know if this is congestive. I shouldn't have doubted myself because this is clearly downward bias. Get a lower high off the trend line. It's also a first, second entry short. I do see, you might get worried about this, but I like how it bounced off the longer term trend line. It's second entry short, not much to say about it. Unfortunately, I didn't get a runner off that one, right? Yeah, I didn't get a runner off this. And when this bar formed, I was like, ooh, I would probably even enter on this on a failed second entry long. So like, maybe I should put my runner, move my stop loss above this, move my runner, and it would have gotten me a nice move. That's a really nice move, actually. Let's say I entered 38.50. We got stopped out. That's like a 5-point runner. But anyway. All right, where are the entries over here? All right, so silly me, just jumping the gun, thinking I'm spotting a reversal here on this being my signal bar. Let me get this off. This was my signal bar. I think, and look, you come up short of the trend line here. So I'm seeing it correctly, but I jumped the gun, and I think the reason this is too early, or part of the reason it's too early, is because this is not a very convincing break of the trend line, especially when we get this lower high. That works out well. And we're basically coming from the lows of the trend line, even though we have this swing low here. And this isn't even that convincing, but it's getting broken multiple times. So you get a break here once, break here twice. So I think that's a little more convincing than this. But even still, you get a lower high entry right here. This is very aggressive because it didn't hit the bottom of this trend line. This isn't as aggressive in my opinion. So yeah, entered here, that failed. I do think that this one's okay because there's a lot of momentum. It's on the other side of the EMA. It bounces off the EMA. I don't think you can enter on this being your signal bar though. You got to take that. And so this is aggressive and might be a little too advanced for me, but I think I read this right, so I was very happy. And then I really do think this, I entered here. I think I have the correct understanding now that this is the failure, and it worked. So you shouldn't be expecting this to be a failure. That's a third entry. That's a third entry, failed first, failed second, failed third entry. Well, you just get trapped. So, and this is another one. I think this is, it's a hidden entry. I like the volatility though, but we did have a break of this, the big steep leg down right here, and a move to a new low. So it's aggressive and it's a hidden entry. So it's just very aggressive. But it did work out. So I do want to be a little less aggressive in my trades. So yeah, anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Hope everyone had a blessed day.